Hello,
today
Beth. Welcome
down
to sunny
under
Sydney.
Interviews.
Thank you for having me.
In the charming but secretive town of Wallingford Heights, 1893, 3 hairdressers and a seamstress are more than just masters of style, they're amateur sleuths. When a chilling triple murder rocks their sleepy Massachusetts town and a young suffragist is wrongfully accused, these 4 spirited women from the Vine Salon, one of America's first, must unravel a web of dark secrets. Using their keen ears for gossip and sharp minds, Estelle, Chastity, Mary Lou, and Clara dive into a thrilling mystery that intertwines the dangers of the past with the promise of a changing future.
Hi, I'm Paul Rushworth-Brown, host of History Bards Down Under Interviews in association with Meet the Author Indie Book Source in the US. And we're here today with a wonderful author. And I've read a good part of his book, Ryan Hale. And Ryan.
Yes.
The Suffragettes.
Yeah. Women's rights.
A women's hair salon.
Yep.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, one of the things that I like to do is surprise my readers. And anybody who knows me personally, which for the most part, when a writer first begins, that's the only people that are reading the books are friends and family. And then you hope that the audience spreads. But most people that know me know that I've never been like a women's lib kind of guy, but I do believe in rights. And the original idea was to show a family and family wealth over a period of about 130 years and how they were affected. So I went back 130 years to 1893 and started there. And some of the things that were very interesting that were going on at the time was the suffragette movement and some other things that I discovered as I Googled the dates and the area of the country that I centered Wallingford Heights in, and decided to bring all those things into play. And one of the things that I read a long time ago, that I've always been into reading about history, and I just thoroughly enjoy it. One of the things I read about 30 years ago was Teddy Roosevelt. And he has a little more than a cameo appearance in this book because he was, as police commissioner of New York, he was the first person to ever bring the science of fingerprinting into police work in the United States. He was trained by somebody in Argentina. So I brought that into the book because it worked perfectly with the time, and that's the weird science aspect of it, because everybody was kind of confused.
I was confused by that, and I was going to actually ask you about that, about the title, the Wallingford Heights, the hair raisers, weird science.
Yeah. Right? So the hair raisers, the 3 women who operate the salon. There's Estelle, Chastity, and Mary Lou. They are the wives of the constable, deputy constable, and the judge in Wallingford Heights. And so, this is one of the first salons in America, and it just so happens that in 1892, the first salon did open in America, and so I introduced the actual woman's name who brought salons to America. As a friend of Estelle's, who helped her get the Vine Salon off the ground, and so the whole concept was that as women are doing hair, they're talking and gossiping, and they're getting little tidbits of information, and with those tidbits, the wives of the judge and the constable and deputy constable, who are into what their husbands are involved with and want to be a help, they start listening for things that help them solve small petty crimes in town, and they get a reputation, and they call themselves Estelle's husband refers to them as harebrained ideas. They call themselves hair raisers.
Step into the rugged world of Plymouth, 1620, where Sarah, a courageous woman, embarks on an unforgiving journey in the New World. Amidst the treacherous unknown, she faces starvation, death, and the harsh realities of early colonial life. On the wings of the red-tailed hawk, masterfully weaves historical authenticity with an inspiring tale of resilience, as Sarah discovers her inner strength to survive against overwhelming odds. This award-winning novel, lauded for its evocative writing and powerful portrayal of women's triumphs in history, is a must-read for lovers of gripping historical fiction. Join Sarah on her harrowing yet empowering journey and witness the indomitable spirit that defines the true pioneers of America.
One thing, I started reading the novel the other night, and one thing that I noticed was that it moves along at a cracking pace, a very sort of like really well written, sort of like flowing novel. Now you've written sort of like 40, was it 13 novels, 14 novels?
No, I've got 20 right now.
20. Okay.
20, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been writing for almost 2 years, and so I stay busy. I write 8 to 10 hours a day, most days.
Really?
Some days 12. Yeah, my wife got me to start writing. My wife encouraged me to start writing. So I told my wife, yes, I will someday. And then she reminded me that at my age, I don't have a whole lot of some days left. So if I'm going to write, I better start doing it. So I thought that was pretty good advice. And I started writing, and I've been going at it pretty hard and heavy ever since.
So the four women who are the sort of like the sleuths of the story, tell me about how you sort of like built their character.
I set their personalities and their arc as how would women married to these kind of characters actually stand out with some very strong characters in their husbands, and how can a demure woman of 23 married to a man mountain, how can she have that giant wrapped around her finger?
And yet his wife is one of the sleuths that basically goes against her husband.
Yes, yeah. But in fact, Estelle, whose husband is the constable, is he's the one that's most convinced that she's guilty. But these women who knew her as a customer and knew her as being a genteel woman, but who is the granddaughter of Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who's the leader of the suffragettes in America.
In one of four, Travis Davis takes you on an unforgettable journey from the battle-scarred trenches of World War I to the solemn grounds of Arlington National Cemetery. Through the eyes of an unknown soldier, discovered by a young French girl and immortalized in his 100-year-old diary, this novel intertwines the harrowing experiences of the Western Front with a modern-day story of a father and son, estranged yet brought together by the soldier's legacy. as they retrace the soldiers' final days. This poignant narrative reveals the unspeakable horrors of war, the enduring bonds of family, and the timeless pursuit of honor. One of Four is a compelling exploration of courage, sacrifice, and the healing power of remembrance.
Bards Sing of Love and War is a captivating historical novel set in 11th century Wales, where love, honor, and ambition clash amidst the Norman invasion. As Chief Bard Rodri mentors young Tal, the tale unfolds with political intrigue, familial loyalty, and forbidden romance, centering on Griffith Rhys's quest to reclaim his kingdom and win Gwenllian's heart. Amidst King Henry I's campaigns, and betrayals within King Gruffydd Sinan's court, a web of deception, secret marriages, and daring rescues promises to enchant fans of epic romance and adventure.
Just for our viewers, for those who don't know about the suffragettes, just give us a brief explanation about that movement.
Okay,